All right, y'all, it's Battlebox time. If you're into camping, survival, prepping, that sort of thing, this is probably the subscription for you, so let's open this thing up and check it out. What's up guys, Eric here with ATHOME in the Future, and I'm back with another Battlebox unboxing. So this is the OG outdoor survival subscription box, and for the three of you who aren't familiar with Battlebox, this is a monthly box, has 4 different levels. We have a basic box, advanced box, pro box, and pro plus. We always do the pro plus in this channel, which averages out to around 160, 170 bucks a month or so. You can start all the way at the bottom with the basic. We're going to show you all the different levels in this video and in any of our videos. Stick around and we'll go through this thing, but this is Mission 91. This is for September of 2022. Let me find my knife and we'll get this thing opened up and check it out. All right, here we go. Let's pop these seals. A little bit of heft to this one, which is always exciting with these. Let's get this thing open. All right. There you go. There's the big unveiling this month's box here. Sorry, my light's a little wonky. For some reason, the light's kind of strange here today. Let me move this over so we can see a little bit better. All right, we'll check out our trusty mission brief here. Like I said, Mission 91 for September of 2022. It always has an overview of what's inside each box. You can see the goodies over there. And then a rundown of what's in each item. Like I said, the basic box, the advanced box, pro box, and the pro plus, which is normally an extra blade or goodie there. Well, it looks pretty interesting this month. So as always, let's start over here with the basic box. And the first item on the list, we have our Peak Refuel Titanium Spork. Awesome. Always love a good Spork. Looks like a big one too. All right, I'm guessing this feels like it, so we're gonna open this up. You get a trusty Spork carrying case, which is probably something I'll lose almost immediately. I don't know why you need a separate case for your Spork, but there you go. All right, unless you're like into backpacking gear, you may not realize like how light some of this stuff feels, but titanium is one of those things when you get like an implement like this, you may think it feels cheap at first, but these are not cheap, and this stuff is like super tough, but just crazy, crazy light, which I really like. The nice thing about this, and I see the little mill that goes along with it. You know what? We'll go ahead and take a look at that too. That's the Peak Refuel Biscuits and Sausage Gravy, which is a dehydrated mill I actually haven't had. I don't really know how the biscuits work in that. I can understand how the gravy works, but I guess the biscuits rehydrate. Anyway, with meals like this, the dehydrated stuff, I use these a lot when I'm out camping or hiking, somewhere where I want like a hot meal, kind of give you some energy. I normally do like Mountain House style meals. I really like the Mountain House lasagna. It sounds weird because it's got meat and everything in it. You wouldn't think it's good, but it actually tastes super, super good. But a little trick with these, if you have a normal size spoon, like a normal size fork or that sort of thing, man, you're just gonna get your hands, unless you cut the bag open or something, you're gonna get your hands super gross because this stuff, it just tends to be sticky for some reason. So you're eating this stuff and everything, your hands already aren't all that clean because you've been outdoors doing stuff. But man, it's just such a mess getting into that. So having a super long fork like this is actually pretty awesome. This may seem like an item in a box where you're like, I don't really know what I'm gonna do with that. But if you eat any of these style meals at all, it's awesome for cooking stuff around like a little campfire pot too, where you can stir without burning your hands with the fire hitting you. Man, these are so awesome to get down in those bags and get that stuff. So cool item there. The price too, it says $9.95 for that. I'm just gonna use the Spork to point at everything for the rest of the video. $9.95, that's actually pretty spot on too. Titanium stuff is not cheap. Like I said, this isn't something that's gonna get in your bag and immediately bend or get crushed or anything. This actually will last you a long time, so that's a cool item. So I'm gonna put this down, let's take a look at this meal. Like I said, I actually haven't had a sausage and gravy. Weirdly enough, I've had other breakfast food style dehydrated meals like eggs and bacon. There's like a breakfast burrito one that's actually pretty good where it gives you like some tortillas and you heat it up. It sounds like that'd be gross, like dehydrated eggs, but they're really not bad. Everything tastes better when you're outside camping anyway. But if you ate this whole bag, it's 1,100 calories. Like this is made to give you like energy in the backcountry. They say it's 2 servings. This is another pro tip. Man, I've never had one of these feel like 2 servings where I turn to my wife and I'm like, here, do you want to split this? It's just, when you're outside, you're hungry, you want to eat the whole thing. But excited to try that, excited to see how that works. Sausage crumbles and peppered country style gravy. That does sound pretty good. But so 2 items there in the basic box. Actually very cool items. I'm happy with those. So let's keep going here. We have a Gear Aid fast acting cooling towel. Looks like that is right here. So Gear Aid makes some pretty cool stuff. And you know, in different subscriptions over time, I feel like I've gotten like microfiber, like towels, like the towels you want to dry off with, but This is a different kind of thing here, where this is that sort of strange material that has a cooling effect where you put water on it. Let's see if we can slide this out. I wonder how big this is. It actually looks like it's really big. Okay, so whether you're out mowing the lawn, which is probably with some of this stuff, you may use that more for that than actually like out there in the field in action or anything. But anywhere it's hot, like at a concert, at a festival, at a theme park, or of course out there in the woods hiking, just drench this stuff in cold water, even get cold water out of a stream. And it's that evaporative effect with this type of fabric just feels great. There's something about it that kind of tricks your brain into cooling you down, which is a really nice thing to have. So that one's $17.95 there for the Gearade Fast Acting Cooling Towel. It's got a little carrying case. Again, sometimes with some of these carrying cases, it's great to have that as a value add, but am I really going to stow this in this little separate case all the time? I don't know. I'd probably fold it up or hang it off my backpack and let it dry and then cram it in a pocket. But cool item nonetheless in the basic box. The Fast Acting Cooling Towel from Gearade. Not bad, not bad. And by the way, I forgot to say this earlier, but I'm going to put links for all this stuff down in the description too. So if you see anything in the box, even if you don't get the full box yourself this month, you can go in and find some of this stuff online. It's always cool to follow along with these and find a gadget you like. So the last thing in the basic box, actually a pretty strong basic box this month as far as a multitude of items goes. We have a Humvee folding shovel. So here we go. This is going to be like, what's the classic Army E-tool? Okay, let's pop this thing open and check it out. I'm really curious. For one, I don't know why Humvee, the car brand, I guess they license their name to all sorts of stuff. I don't know why they would make a little camping shovel, but here we are. So in my experience, these camping shovels, I've gone through a bunch of these over the years. If you've ever watched my truck EDC video, check that out. I actually have a really cool shovel in there from a company called the Demos Collective. It's a stupid expensive like camping shovel. It's made for overlanders and that sort of thing. But it's one of the only shovels that I've really enjoyed. A lot of times these things feel pretty cheap. First impressions, just touching this though, it doesn't have that cheap kind of like use it once and it's gonna break feel. So that's encouraging. Looks like it unfolds. Has the traditional mechanism here where you fold it out and then screw it into place to lock it. It's got instructions built into it there, so I guess we just tighten that. You know, what I think we do is undo this. Okay, I think you keep unscrewing this until one of these little notches actually lands in the groove. I don't know if you can see that. On the bottom of the pole, there's a groove there these notches go into. I think you keep twisting that. Okay, yeah. That is actually an interesting mechanism for a little camping shovel. And, you know, it's hard to tell without getting out there in the yard and digging around. We got a really rocky yard. I live up on a hill. It's hard to tell how it's going to do. But, I mean, as far as these little shovel goes, this one actually is surprisingly nice. It feels surprisingly sturdy. I don't know why it's got this nail pull thing in the end. It seems like that's going to bend almost immediately. And it's got... I think this is meant to be a saw thing. There's no way. I mean, that's not remotely sharp. That's more like, it feels more like jimping on a knife. But in general, though, this thing is actually cool. So I guess, let's see. If I undo the screw here, we can get that, but you can use it more at an angle. It's kind of like an excavating tool. If you're out prospecting, trying to dig for gold, you got a little bit of an angle there where you can chip into the hills and everything. But okay, surprised by that. I was expecting that to feel like a little cheapo Army surplus store shovel that breaks after the first use, but that's actually something that would be nice in a kit. Not sure how I fold it together again. Yep, it just collapses into a nice little package. Now this, I've been making fun of carry cases. This is something where the carry case is kind of nice. This keeps it nice and clean. If you got dirt on it, it keeps it from getting into your other stuff. But okay, cool. So from Humvee, that is a portable shovel. They say it's worth $19.99, and you know what? For that price, this is actually a lot more of a confident little tool than I would have expected it to be, so neat. Okay, I'm gonna put this up here. We're gonna keep going. Let's move on to our advanced box. It looks like we actually have 2 blades this month, which is pretty exciting. So first on the list, we have the Outdoor Element Phoenix Feather. Okay, so there's 2 knives. I'm gonna put this one back because I think that's the big boy, the Phoenix Feather. I will say Outdoor Element, the only thing I'm really familiar with from them is like kind of cheaper department store camping stuff. I've seen 1 or 2 nicer items, but it's not a brand that like screams this is going to be awesome, but maybe these will surprise me. We've got our dehumidifier and what looks to be Really, man, this thing is, look how skinny that is. It's almost like a little neck knife. You know what? For the first time in this video, let's actually look at the description here. Okay, it's D2 steel, which is nice. It's only 1.4 ounces, which is pretty cool. 3-inch blade, Kydex sheath. Let's open this up. Okay, there we go. So we have a mean little skinny blade. A little jimping right there. D2 steel, which is great. I'm a really big fan of that. Really simple. You could probably wrap some paracord or something around to make it more of a comfortable handle. As it is, it's very, very light. It's got a hex bit driver down here, which is interesting, and it looks like a little flathead, or you could use it to pry stuff. It's probably not the best idea. The little Kydex sheath does have a clip, so you know, just looking at it in the description here, I wasn't too big on this, but in practice, this actually isn't bad. You know, this would actually be pretty great for, I know it's meant for hunting, that's not really my scene, but I could see having this in a bug out bag because it is so light, or having this as a backup knife somewhere where you just don't even have to think about it. Pretty interesting in that respect. So they say this is $39.95 with D2 steel and everything. I'd say it's probably up to the task there. So the Outdoor Element Phoenix Feather Knife. Not bad. Put this back in the case and move on to our Pro Plus item. All right, so look at these. These are an interesting item. This is the Battlbox Limited Edition Razor Patriot Series electronic earmuffs. So if you're a shooter, this is going to be something you're really excited about this month. So let's take a look at these here. From Walkers, I have some like noise canceling earbuds from them that are also meant for shooting, but I don't have like the full actual big ear protection. So high gain omnidirectional microphones, low noise, recessed volume controls, and audio input jack. So I guess you can plug music into these if you want to. It's not really meant to do that. Powered by 2 AAA batteries, which is nice. Those are easy to find. So let's pop the seal on these and check these out. So I tell you why these are great is because if you're shooting or hanging out with the guys, like doing that sort of thing, if you have just regular, hopefully you're wearing ear protection, because if not, you're deaf after a few years of doing this stuff. Oop, I dropped something. All right, cool, we got some patches with this, that's nice. Anyway, you can't hear anything when you have typical ear protection on. You're always saying, huh, and yelling, and you don't do a lot of like hanging out or talking when you're doing it, which may be the point anyway. But with electric ears like this, there's our batteries. With this sort of thing, you have hearing protection that cancels out the loud pops and bangs when you're shooting, but you can still hear each other talk. And the reason why that's so nice is you're actually going to keep these on the whole time. I was at the range with my dad once, and we were shooting and everything, and we were trying to talk and yelling and stuff. Nobody else was in there with us, we thought. So my dad took his earmuffs off while we were reloading and everything. Long story short, a guy was in there with a hand cannon, all of a sudden started just blasting him. My dad didn't have ear protection on, and man, his bell was rung for a while. So product like this is awesome. You got some Battlbox branding on the top, but pretty cool, pretty sturdy. Looks like we got volume knob up here. It's got a nice like soft touch, rubberized finish. Looks like we got microphones on each side. I wonder where that headphone jack is. Maybe this is it down here, in case you want to listen to some music too. Kind of defeats the purpose in my mind. You probably got better things for that, but yeah, this is one of those things that you're gonna be glad you have it. These actually look pretty cool. You got space for your patches, it looks like, over here on the sides too, so you can pop on some swag there and you're good to go. Interesting item. 80 bucks, well worth it in the Pro Box. This is something, if you're into that sort of thing, or you're in a loud environment where you could use something like this, these are awesome. Really cool item there in the Pro Box this month. So that is the Razor Slim electronic muffs. Super cool. Good job, Battlbox. Now let's go ahead and move on to our last item, which is another Outdoor Element knife, but this one appears to be much higher featured or higher end. So let's check out our guide and see what we got, because this thing looks a little bonkers. So this is the Phoenix Talon. It says it's built to be like a skinny knife for hunting, but can also be used for a variety of survival and camping situations. Also D2 steel. It's got EverSpark technology for starting a fire, a replaceable gut hook. Full tang D2 steel, that's great, so they're super sturdy. A pocket inside the handle if you want to like throw in some survival gear. That's what makes it super interesting to me. About 8 ounces. This one definitely feels heavier just by holding the box. So I'm gonna put this to the side. We'll open this up. We got another seal to pop right here. Here we go. Got some paperwork. We've got, what do we have here? These, looks like replacement gut hooks and everything, some screws if you're taking apart the handle, and of course a little anti-moisture packet. So let's put this down. Now this is definitely a beefier blade. Also has a really, look at that chunky pocket clip there. A really strong metal clip. Kydex sheath, it looks like. I don't know if we have like a sharpening implement there or not, but let's see. Now that sheath actually did pop off pretty easy with my thumb. It's nice not having to pull on that. So here we go. The Phoenix Talon from Outdoor Element, D2. This thing looks a little weird, doesn't it? It's got a strange shape. Of course, you got that gut hook down there, so it's gonna be built for more utility if you're into the hunting lifestyle. But the handle, surprisingly, you know, it looks beefy and chunky, which it is. That feels nice. The jimping's cool. The little choil down here for your fingers, cool. Strange kind of blade shape. I do like that you can get a finger in there if you want to and really do some crazy stuff. But that is an interesting knife. You know, I wish I had time in the video to try to go through. Whoa, look at that. So we have a flint fire striker there to throw some sparks and start a fire. Ooh, look at that. That's awesome. So yeah, this thing does have some survival uses. It's weird, I can't think of a scenario where you'd use that hunting. I guess it's really meant to be a dual use thing, but so definitely an interesting knife, has some different purposes and everything. It's got places where you can lash it down with cord. Pretty interesting. As far as like a big knife of the month style thing goes, this is one that's kind of unique from what I typically see in Battlbox. That is the Phoenix Talon from Outdoor Element. Like I said earlier, I don't normally associate Outdoor Element with like premium kind of hard use knives and that sort of thing, but both of these are actually fairly interesting. Even that little skinny one that was in the advanced box is actually pretty compelling, but there you go. So that is this month's Knife of the Month in the Pro Plus box. And that one came in, I think, at 120 bucks. Just look at the card one more time before we check out here. So that's probably about right. I'm gonna have to mess with that handle. Look, so you can see the full tang goes down there where you can jam some items in there. So that'll be fun as far as prepping and stuff goes. So there you go. That is mission 91. We've got that knife. We've got these awesome electronic earmuffs, the Humvee shovel, some sausage and gravy, big old spoon, a cooling towel, lots of really neat stuff. So always an interesting box from Battlbox. If you want to sign up for yourself, make sure you use the link on the screen or down in the description. Battlbox rarely disappoints, always interesting stuff every month, always a good one to look forward to, so definitely worth checking out. And that's it for this video. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. It helps the channel out a ton. And subscribe if you want to see more unboxings like this. We'll see you next time.